Now I know what you're thinking, isn't the race wide open for the three strong contenders? Absolutely, I understand that the race for the Premier League title is tight, but I have my eyes on a clear winner. Forget the noise, the data is clear, there's only one team built to conquer the Premier League this season. But first, what are the current situation of things? To be fair, it looks like for the first time there are no comfortable leads and clear favourites. This season Premier League title is the first proper three-legged horse race we've had in a while, and single mishap could spell disaster for any of these contenders. Just look at the top of the table, a meagre 1 point separates the leading trio, Arsenal, Liverpool and Manchester City. Arsenal is currently the top dog, banging in a ridiculous 70 goals so far and winning most of their games, i.e. 20 wins with only 4 losses. But Liverpool is right behind them. Those pesky Reds haven't lost much this season, just twice actually, with one of the defeats coming against the Gunners in February. Still, they've racked up the same amount of points as the Gunners and a whopping 65 goals themselves, placing them firmly in contention. But don't sleep on Manchester City though. The current champions are just whiskers away, 63 points. Pep's crew knows how to win these close races and they definitely want that 4th title in a row. But hold on, that's not all. Aston Villa and Tottenham are hot on their heels at 55 and 53 points respectively. Still very much in the top 4 hunt, although it would take more than a miracle for the odds of winning to go in their favour. It however creates an exciting Champions League spot for them. So basically every team is a beast. Every match is a nail biter and we have no idea who is going to win. Who are you putting your money on? I know who my pick is and I'll be revealing that soon. So who's got the best shot at the title? Let's take a closer look at each team's strengths and weaknesses before I reveal my champion. Sure, the next 10 games will be crucial for all the teams. Injuries, tough opponents, and even how deep their bench is. All this stuff can play a huge role in who wins. Basically, the team that can weather the storm the best despite all the crazy things that happen in football has the best shot at that trophy. Let's piece this together one by one. The Gunners are on fire this season. After years of rebuilding, Arsenal finally field a team capable of a serious title challenge last season. Their impressive run had fans dreaming of glory. However, a lack of squad depth in the defence and midfield and crucial injuries to key players like Saka and Sober ultimately derailed their championship dreams. The most disappointing aspect of them was finishing the season trophyless in all competitions, but the lone bright spot was the finally secured a Champions League spot after a 6-year absence since 2016 and 17 season. However, now I want you to forget last season's dire minute setback. These Arsenal boys are a whole new breed. They're loving the title race, currently sitting pretty at the top with 64 points after beating Brentford. They also gain an advantage with the draw from the clash between Liverpool and Man City. But since their last season title run, which was thwarted by injuries, what's changed? They've learned to control the game better, just like Man City, plus they've added depth to their squad with the addition of Declan Rice, Kai Havertz and Duran Timber, and one of 2 other players to bolster their team's strength in weak areas. The result? Well, they've turned ruthless, punishing some of the best teams in the Premier League, with the other 2 contenders not left out. All these have been achieved while rotating their team and losing out on the availability of players like Timber and Martinelli. But these injury scare might still be Arsenal's biggest worry. If a key player like Saka, Rice or Odegaard gets hurt, things could get dicey. Additionally, as I'm sure you are aware, even their recent form, they still have big clashes with Spurs, City and United coming up, which is not an easy nail to bite. Not to mention that the relegation battles are usually firecast towards the end of the season, so they can't afford to slip up too many times, as one mistake could spell doom. Among other things that could wear Arsenal down is the Champions League, a factor, you bet. Their chances of winning it are quite good and may end up wearing out their players for the Premier games as they advance into the competition, but the same cannot be said for Liverpool, who have all things to worry about other than the Champions League. The Reds are buckled up with an announcement of a farewell by their beloved manager. The 8 years Jurgen Klopp had been adored by the Anfield faithful, coming tantalisingly close to Premier League's glory on several occasions in the last 5 years. He's only managed to deliver the title one time while suffering heartbreaking heartbreaking defeats to Pep Guardiola's formidable Manchester City side on the other occasions. In fact, Liverpool had been the only team consistently and fiercely challenging Pep's dominance. Often the Premier League title races has come down to a nail-biting final day showdown between the two giants. This season is no different, with their recent draw highlighting just how crucial the rivalry is in determining the eventual champion. Liverpool's chances of winning this year are also on the high side. They are arguably the most informed side in the competitions and also have the best expected goals, or XG, in the Premier League. Additionally, having only lost twice this season, they are sitting pretty in second, just a hairbreadth behind Arsenal on the same 64 points and a goal difference of plus 39. Not bad, right? Here's the real kicker. Their remaining fixtures are also not pretty, with games against United, Spurs, Aston Villa looking rather daring. Sure, injuries have been a nightmare, but they've held on pretty well as things are looking up on that front. They now have some key players like Mo Salah returning, so it's all about how the fringe players set up and keep the momentum going. Here's the thing, my prediction is 90 points by the end of the season. That's right, but it's enough to potentially snag the trophy and give Jurgen Klopp the perfect send-off he deserves. We all know Klopp's master motivator, and his announcement has the boys fired up to send him out with a bang. Hopefully an EPL trophy shaped bang. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Manchester City are the undisputed kings of the Premier League's final stretch. Just look at the numbers: 145 points amassed in the closing 10 games over the past 6 seasons, a stat that strikes fear into the hearts of the competitor. Remember last season's drama? The Gunners thought they had a shot, then came City towards the end. They dismantled the powerhouse like Arsenal, Chelsea and Manchester United in their last campaign. That's the kind of dominance they bring to the final act. And the stats don't lie. Manchester City are built for this moment. Their midfielder maestro Kevin De Bruyne is back, and his presence is a nightmare for opponents. And he does come alive as the engine room of the team. While Haaland had poor form for a few games, the lethal striker came back with a bang in the game against Luton, scoring 5 goals. Manchester City might be in third place right now, but with just 1 point behind the first two and a goal difference of plus 35, they're far from out of the title race. In fact, history suggests they might just be getting warmed up. They have equally faced some challenges, of course. Injuries have tested their depth, a plague which saw them lose Kevin De Bruyne for almost half the season and Haaland for some of that time too. Unfortunately, just a few days ago they lost Kevin De Bruyne yet again, this time to a groin injury. Even though the Citizens managed pretty good results without him before, this is still a huge blow. But here's the thing, Pep's teams are masters of adaptation. They overcome obstacles. That's what makes them champions. And now for the big reveal. Who does the data back up to win, and who am I putting my money on? The 2023 and the 2024 Premier League title will be, drumroll please, Manchester City. Everyone knows Man City is a juggernaut when it comes to the final stretch of the season. No one does it better than them. They've done it before, clawing their way back and leaving everyone else in the dust. They showed this is their 2021 and 22 campaign in a 12-game winning streak, and the remaining fixtures offer an interesting mix for the champions. They still got to face opponents like Brighton, who are currently struggling with form, a tough Arsenal test at home, and an Aston Villa who are looking to finish strong in the season. These are winnable games, but City might have to settle for draws against some trickier opponents like Tottenham and Wolves. Still, if anyone's questioning City's grip on the title, look no further than the data. Statisticians like Opta favour them for a historic 4th consecutive title with a staggering 45.9% chance. The bottom line is that when the pressure mounts and the season reaches its climax, there's only one team that can consistently know how to win: Manchester City. Their record speaks for itself. They are in true masters of the Premier League's final stretch, and the trophy seemed destined for their cabinet once again. As I said earlier, the title race is wide open, and City, the serial winner, is still very much in the conversation. Don't count them out just yet, but who do you think wins the Premier League trophy and why? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.